Good morning, everybody. At least it's morning right now where I'm at. Coming to you from the Penny Pincher Thrift Shop here in North Versailles, just east of Pittsburgh. This is Secondhand Dan, by the way. Beautiful day if you like it a little bit overcast, but it's just under 65 degrees. I've been out yard sailing, and I thought I'd show you some of the things I picked up. I left here around 8 o'clock and I got back at 10. The reason being it rained a little bit during the night, and with the threat of rain about 50% off and on the next couple hours, the yard sale prospects aren't as numerous as they normally would be. So there was a neighborhood sale just a little over a mile away. And I found about maybe 10, 12 houses that I went to, and I could have scoured the neighborhood a little harder if I wanted to, but I went on a wild goose chase to a place about 5 miles away. And a lot of times when you're looking at these yard sale apps, they're, they tell you, oh, big sale, come check it out, and they'll have pictures. And if you overlook the date, well, that was for next week, even though they put a pin in it on my app as a yard sale on a Saturday. Sometimes it's the following Saturday. Well, I went over there, found there was no yard sale when I got to the house, but there was a church sale just a stone's throw away. So I did buy something there. So let's check out what I picked up. Took old Black Beauty here out. Last night I changed the calipers, brake calipers on both sides, and the brake pads. So it started out as a brake inspection, and when I saw the pads were looking a little bit thin, I said, well, let me take the caliper off and get a thorough inspection of the brake pads. So I went to pull the caliper off. I've done dozens throughout my life. Well, there's still squoze on the rotor a lot of times. Hot dog. And so I pried it, after taking the bolts, I pried the caliper off the rotor, and it cracked the piston in the caliper. So I had to go get new calipers, and I determined, well, the brakes were beyond half-life, so I got new brake pads. It's just like I say, I ended up spending about $300 some yesterday just because I wanted to do a brake inspection. Anyway, I got things. Now, like I said, there was only a dozen sales that I actually went to. And here's these items right here. They're known as popcorn plastic. Well, I took them out of the truck so you can get a better look. You can see we got a couple of holidays covered here. I got the Easter, St. Patrick's Day, and Valentine's Day, and Thanksgiving. I paid $10 for all of that. So they do make, of course, Christmas ones and Halloween ones. I would rather have those, but for $10, I figured, I can't go wrong. Slight issues. I mean, when you're dealing in antiques and collectibles, always got to watch for the issues, but a lot of times they can be overcome. Sometimes they can be even forgiven if the item is unique enough. But you can see the Pilgrim here. His legs are broken off. So I think I'm going to get out the epoxy and see if I can't piece that back together. The Shamrock, his stem has come off. There again, let's epoxy it. The Hello Valentine heart looks like something took a bite out of it. But there again, for $10, I think I'm doing okay. I said I just sold a Halloween pumpkin-looking one at the antique mall where I'm set up, and I got like $24 out of that just for the one. So all right, well, let's see what else is in here. I got the stork, well, or crane, or some kind of bird. I got a pair of these. They are metal. Nice condition. They wanted $8 for the pair, but I did a bundle deal, so basically I think I spent $5 for the pair. And I think there's still time to run those up to the antique mall and sell them there. Because they're somewhat seasonal. I mean, people buy something like that any time of year, but you got a lot more people more interested in it this time of year than in the late fall and early spring. And what I bundled it with was this brass and glass globe. It was marked $15. We're stuck in here. There we go. And so I asked them if they would be, with $4 a piece were on those. I said, could you do $20 for the package deal? And they agreed to that. So, and I sold a larger one of these a couple months ago. I think I got about $70 for it. The question is, how do I keep this from flipping over? I guess maybe tighten something up there, because you might probably want it in this position for the most part. Very pretty, don't you think? Okay, the other thing I have here is a box of dead animals. It's fur, hats, and I think she said that was beaver. And this here, she said her dad actually shot, was it a pheasant, and her mother had a hat maker make a hat. And her mother was 100 years old, not at the time the hat was made, but now that looks kind of like a flapperish style. I paid, I think, $30 for the box, all the furs in it. So I'm not sure if how well I'm going to do on that, but I should get some money back probably just on these what are these, fox mink, this stole here. How's that look? Goes with my Run DMC jacket and my chain, huh? And from the same lady, I asked, do you have any antiques? And she went into her house and came back out with this Halloween party favor and this Halloween party favor. I believe these are called Ross Pro is the manufacturer. And I've had these in the past and have made good money. But they are, like anything, people collect these. They'll tell you, well, maybe this one is the more common one. Maybe this one's the more rare one. So when you look on eBay for Ross Pro Halloween, you'll see sometimes some are $200 or more and some are only $25 a piece. So I got those two. And she said these were given or purchased by her dad. I guess if her mom was 90, yeah, this is from like World War II era. These are a deck of cards that you could purchase. They got the seal on it that the military would purchase. the U.S. Playing Card Company. Some kind of a government-looking seal on there at one time, huh? And it came also with the time, USS something, not to be removed from ship. Well, evidently somebody removed it from the ship, so I'm not sure 1945 what its worth is. And in that same lot, it was the cards, the 2 Halloween favors, the ship magazine, and this light bulb. A Disney Donald Duck light bulb. So, for that bunch, I paid $10 for. It's a, the light bulb is a Aerolux. All right, well, I still have a couple more things in the truck. Okay, let's travel over to the other side of the truck. And here is a Pabst Blue Ribbon wall hanger. Very thin. And, you know, its condition is it's satisfactory. It's definitely quite displayable, but it does have a little wear on it. You can see there's a hole right up in there. And then there's the makeshift holes I guess somebody used to mount it. I don't know if those are factory holes. That hole looks pretty round right there. So it's got hairline cracks in it right there. But, you know, the man said this was at that church sale. And when I went over to the other side of town looking for an estate sale, that wasn't there because I didn't check the date. But he said it's a quarter. And so I had it with something else that was $5. And I gave him the $5 and I said, well, let me run over to the truck and get the quarter. He said, oh, forget about it. You can just have it. I'm like, okay, well, thank you. Thank you very much. So Pabst Blue Ribbon wall hanger. And here at another sale, I have a lava lamp. I've sold every lava lamp I've had. Now this one's not vintage. The vintage ones are really the way to go, but this one is, I guess, a little bit surreal. It has something to do with yoga and meditation, I guess. So, for $3. So I'll take that up to the antique mall and now just put $24 on it. You know, a profit is a profit. You know, everything you buy doesn't have to be worth $50 and $100. And in this bag, I got the grabby hand. I think this has something to do with yoga. This funny thing is, I got this lamp not at the same place I got this. And the lady that sold me this said it had something to do with yoga. She was into yoga. I didn't ask a whole lot of details, like, well, what do you do with it in your yoga? Do you just pick your nose with it? Or I don't want to insult anybody that way, but hey, I got that hand and these bells here. $5. So I'll have to research these. I know I looked on eBay, and they're maybe from $20 to $35. Maybe it depends on how well they're made. I don't know. I'm sure everybody makes a cheaper version of everything, and usually you can find somebody who makes a better version of everything. So that's it for the front seat. Let's check the back seat. Ho, ho, ho! Wake up, Santa. We have a vintage hard plastic Santa Claus. I did pretty good on hard plastic Christmas just last year. So, oh, or a little duct tape residue on him. But the important thing is he's not cracked or chips missing out of him. He's heavy because there's a sandbag inside right now. But this is made by the Leominster. Oh, it's a Union. Man, they put the whole Monty on here. Leominster, Massachusetts, decorative use indoor. 115 volts. Anyway, he's in very good condition. He's probably from the mid-60s. Watch, I don't drop him here. I'm standing in the driveway, and he would definitely get jacked up if he hits this gravel. I got large gravel stones down here, not soft gravel stones. So I got to get the sandbag out of it because it just adds dead weight. I mean, I guess it keeps it from toppling over, but... Oh, and finally, the last thing I got when I said I went to looking for that estate selling it at a church sale, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. That's it. There's the little Jesus does not have a manger to lay in, and Joseph has got a bald spot. I think Joseph and I have something in common there. And Mary has, no, she doesn't have a little lamb. Yeah, it's a little lamb. She's got a little head trauma right there. So I don't know if somebody just dropped it or who knows, maybe a plank blew over and smacked her on the head. But you got to watch because a lot of times these old blow molds, they can get very brittle. You can almost just, squeeze it and it'll crunch. But because these weren't brittle, I said, oh, that's not brittle. It's not getting any worse. I was able to pick this set up, the trio, for $5. And they are made by Empire. So I'm sure they'll sell. For how much? I got to do a little research. I'm hoping maybe $50, but even if I only got $25, I'm still making a profit. So that's pretty much it for the yard sale finds. I'll show you what else I got going on here. We got to close all these truck doors. It very well could rain again. So I got to make sure that, especially the firs, get out of the rain. But what I got going on, and I've been doing it for the past week. And like anything, it's when you're doing it outside, you got to watch the weather. I've got out in front of my place of business the free table. Stuff on top of this table is free. And I actually had 2 tables, and during the course of 3 days, they were pretty much picked clean over those 3 days. Stuff that's no longer selling. This business, it's not what it used to be. Used to be everything was worth something. There were collectors for everything, but a lot of people have lost interest in collecting. And what I do is, maybe I'll try it one last time on eBay, and if it doesn't fly on eBay, I'll put it on my free table. Right now, the sign that says free items, I put a bag over it because it's wired to this post, and I didn't want to get soaked with rain and ruining my handmade sign. See, I have a spare tire to keep it from blowing over, but I'm going to go get a couple more things that didn't sell. And see, I had these books that unfortunately got rained on. But, they were some nice books too. Now, I could run this stuff up to Goodwill, but, that takes more time and effort, and I have to start creating a pile up there, and And Goodwill's making a pretty penny without me helping them. So I figured let the people have it. You know, they don't have to pay anything, and maybe it'll make somebody happy. All right, so let me go get something else to put on that table. Back here on these blue shelves, this is pretty much my eBay zone. Stuff that's on eBay or has been on eBay or is going on eBay. But most of the stuff is has been on eBay. And a lot of times every dog has his day, and you know, you put something up there and it doesn't sell. You put it back up again 2 weeks later and it very well may sell. I've had that happen a lot. So, but there are some things, you know, that they're just not worth trying again. And let's see, I had some ashtrays. This guy here, I may just give him back. It's not even mine. I'm just helping out a friend of the family there. I don't even think I can get, nobody wants to pay 25 bucks for that. Although I did sell some brassy things that he bronze, this material here, but they were more dragonish looking items made of bronze, and I sold a pair of those, and I put another pair on, and somebody bid on them and never paid for them. So where are my ashtrays? Look at all this stuff here. It's hard to sell anymore. All that Coca-Cola glassware. Looney Tunes glasses. There's the Roadrunner. The Pepe Le Pew is back there. I just had a set of, I think, 4 glasses on there. No interest at $25. Look at this. A box of Ben Pearson vintage arrows. The original box. I had these on eBay. Got a lot of lookers, no takers, so I might try those again. Hunting season's coming up, and maybe people will start thinking archery. These are not for hunting, though. These are target practice arrows. You know, they have that just a simple little bullet point on them rather than razor tips. Now, I've seen these selling on eBay. So I go to put mine on. That's what I do a lot of times. I make sure that people they're selling. That isn't just me saying, "Oh, well, I bet this is worth something. I'll put it on eBay." No, I do some research, and I've seen these selling on eBay. This is a sizzling steak platter. But I think it's a Wagner. Yeah, Wagner. So maybe I'll try it one more time before I give up on it, because maybe people weren't at home cooking so much now that summer is just about over. Now this rusty monstrosity is probably from the 30s, 40s, because that's actual brass. Iron chain. Iron cage with a brass shielded socket, and it's been on eBay, no takers. So I'm going to put that on the free table, and there was something else I was going to put on the free table. Right here, I've got a bag full of Star Wars items. Nobody, I said $25. And when I just, you know, I took nice pictures. There's Luke Skywalker. There's some of the old, never been used, hold on, never been used Star Wars Taco Bell cups. Darth Maul sits on top of one of these. And R2-D2 sits on top of one of these. And I think there's a Yoda or something. No takers, $25. Oh, there's Yoda. $25. And there was a couple of miniatures. No takers for $25 for the whole thing. So it'll go out on my table, and no doubt somebody's liable to come along and think, wow, this dude's giving away Star Wars. I'm going to make lots of money. Yeah, you're welcome to it, buddy. Now, some people in my position, they say, well, if I can't make any money on it, nobody else is going to make any money. And they'll destroy it or just throw it directly in the trash. I believe that trust God, bless somebody else, and somehow, some way, it'll come back to me in another form. So I guess it's kind of like a pay it forward thing. Let somebody else have it. And it's possible that maybe they will make the money that I was seeking off of it, but they're welcome to try. God bless them. I guess what it's come down to is I'm feeling frozen. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Okay, I'm going to try and just let some stuff go rather than try and squeeze out every dime out of it. So let's go put these on the freebie table. Okay, I've gone ahead and taken the blue bag off the sign so people can see. Wake up, stop and get yourself some free stuff. Well, let me go pick up all my fur pieces, and maybe I'll get those Halloween things on, because now is the perfect time, being that it is September the 6th. Those will sell any time of year, but you're going to get the max money out of them, prior to their holiday. So, into the store we go, into the Penny Pinchers thrift shop. I had that sign put on the window. Hey, go, 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 go. And they put thrift store. I go by thrift shop, but I used to have the hours on there. But that big black mark under the word thrift, I blacked out the hours. That way nobody can be upset if I'm not here during those hours. We're also known as the Antique Kingdom. Well, let's go ahead and look up those Ross Pros. Oh, just knocked over my music stand. That's a vintage item there, huh? It's on a tripod. But maybe that's something I should just get rid of. All right, sitting here at the old PC. So I type in ROSPRO. Is that right? No, it didn't come up. It was a Ross Bro. Ross Bro. Change that to a B. There it is. Ross Bro Halloween. And you can see they also made Christmas. But we're more interested in the Halloween. But to get more directly to it, I know I have a witch here, so let's just put in witch. I-T-C-H. All right, and there is my witch, which somebody's asking $45 for. Actually, $46. But what we need to do is not get too excited. I mean, I would be happy with that kind of money for it. Because there's somebody asking $9.99. So, quite two different extremes there. So let's go to completed. And it must be the same one. It didn't sell the first time. But when we get down here, it's somebody wanted 45, but there's a slash through it, which means they took an offer. There's my cat also. Now my cat, I know he's got a little bit of a hairline, probably a attic distortion from being in the heat or something for multiple years. But so basically they were hoping for $50 a piece. Here's somebody wanted $30 for theirs, didn't get it. See that one, I don't have that one, but it sold for $50. So like I say, they're all about the same size, but it depends on condition and rarity. This one did sell for $30. I'd be content with $30. So maybe I'll list mine for $29.95 as a bid starting, because if it does at least that, fine. If it, like I said, being that Halloween is upon us, it might go even higher. So we want to give it at least the opportunity to go higher. $24.95. But that's a lot of money. $8.65 for shipping. Okay, well. Oh, we'll roll right past them. 30, they didn't get it. But I say a lot of people, look at that. $450 for a witch rocket ship. I don't know what they were thinking when they put it on a black and white, an orange and black background. When your object is orange and black, you want a little contrast there. So you probably should have gone with a tan or something, and being a tan is a autumn color, but you definitely want a little bit of contrast when you take your photographs. And there's plenty of contrast there. You can tell these people, they had their little gallery with maybe a piece of paper that just curves up to the wall. $34.99. Okay, well, let's type in cat now. And hit enter. And we're still in the completed side. Look at that, $489 for cat pumpkins on wheels. That's akin to the one I have. Mine's darker for some reason. Maybe they just got a lot of light behind theirs. Well, for what I got into them, like I said, I gave the lady $10, and it came with several other objects, so maybe I could just group them together and look for a starting bid of 40 or something like that. 35 was achieved. One reason I'm saying is group them together is because mine does have that little defect in the back. Right there. All right, well, that brings this video to a close. Go ahead and like and subscribe to Secondhand Dan and check out some of my previous videos. Leave a like, leave a nice comment. It's appreciated. Thanks, everybody, and an early happy Halloween. I saw somebody's house already decorated for Halloween. All right, anyway, bye-bye.